Of scams, hackers and con artists are always looking for the latest technology to try and trick you using old school tactics. Chris is with Miriam Dotson with the Lee County Sheriff's Office now to show us some of the biggest scams to watch for through the halfway mark of 2018. Guys?
Yeah, Miriam, you would think that people would be using the high-tech things, so it's a little surprising to hear that they're also going old school. So tell us, what is the most commonly reported scam so far this year?
Well, and I wanted to check in with you guys and check in with viewers for the halfway of 2018, because we're always on top of scams. It is still the IRS phone scam that we get the most reported complaints about. Now, that doesn't mean that people necessarily handed out money and became a victim in that way, but it is the most reported complaint in Lee County, at least to the Sheriff's Office so far, about the IRS, which means that they're calling, pretending to be a member from the IRS, saying that you owe money, and if you don't pay, law enforcement may come for you, or different kind of tactics in there. But they're using the phone, the old school, just calling you up and getting you to try to hand over some information.
Well, these scams don't seem to be going away.
Right.
What is causing them to go up? I mean, is it because it's working and people are giving away their money?
Some people are, as a matter of fact, believe it or not, last year in 2017, millennials fell victim to more scams than the 70 and older group. So remember, we've got new generations coming in, again, with all different kinds of tactics. But a lot of it is these big data breaches, right? How many times have you reported on a data breach, whether it's a credit reporting company, an email server, that kind of thing, a company, bank, that information gets out. And it doesn't necessarily mean that even your credit card's out. It's your identifying information, your name, your address, a birth date, something like that, where now these scammers have a hold of you, and sometimes they don't pop up until years later.
Wow. Okay, so I know a big part of what the Sheriff's Office does is try to help people avoid becoming victims. What are some of the best practices? A
lot of it's prevention. Believe me, the government and us as well are also trying to do everything we can to stay on top of it. There's big fine increases for scammers and things like that, even the robocalls, which I know is annoying. But some of the basic things you can do is examine an email in particular. I'll start with that. A phone call, obviously hang up if you don't recognize it. But one of them, look at who the sender is. If it seems a little off or there's one extra digit, take that extra 2 minutes to look at it. Don't even click on it. Also, if there's a link in it, when you hover over it, you know, with the little, it turns into a hand and a little pop-up box will come up. Look at that actual link. That's exactly where it's going to send you to, and in most cases, it's false.
Yeah, so obviously you're saying millennials can fall for it. This sounds like what the Russian investigation is about too, as far as not checking where the email is coming from, so anybody can fall for these.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, they can get very sophisticated, and that's another issue too, so they do become very tricky.
All right, Miriam, thank you very much. Good information as always. If you think you've been scammed, you can call the Lee County Sheriff's Office fraud line. Their number is right there on your screen, 239-258-3292.